So this video is showing you I am in Launchpad, okay? And you can see in the background, this is my Windows app in the background, and I've opened up Photoshop, okay? And I had recently uploaded my images. I'm gonna make a GIF of my mouth moving, my wrinkly mouth, because I thought the wrinkles were great. So what you wanna do is you should have numbered the order of your images. So I have number 1 here. And then you want to open up the first one. So click on this and hit open. Okay. And you'll be in Photoshop. And you should have your tools, the Windows wise, you should have layers open and you should have tools open. We will use timeline. I have it open already. It's okay if you don't have it open right in the beginning. Here, I'll even turn that off so we can first see it. So when you first start up, have layers, tools, and options open. Okay. And you start out with your first image, okay, and you should have it as a background. And what I'd like you to do is click on this and make a duplicate layer of it. So go to layer and say duplicate layer and call this number 1. Okay, so there's your number 1. And we still have the background image there for now. Now, because you've uploaded, I think I have 9 images. You might have just 5, some of you might have 20, depends on what you have. You're going to go to File, Open, okay. And you're going to find number 2. So look, I did 1 dash and I called it GIF lips. Okay. Here I accidentally, instead of having 2 dash GIF lips, I ended up putting a 0 there, but I know that's my 2. Okay, so just be careful. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cool. So I'm going to take my number 2. I'm going to open it up. And so this is this document here. If I click over here, here's my number 1 that I made just a copy right on top of it. Here's number 2. And in this case, I want to show you guys, I could take the whole image, but I just want to do my lips. So I'm just going to take the chunk of the lips. I don't want to do the eyes or anything like that. I want my GIF just to be this scene, okay? So just to show you to give that option, if you want to take the whole image, you can just take the whole image, okay? So I'm taking my selection tool here, right? So my selection tool, and you want to drag a box around what you want to keep, okay? Maybe I'll make it a little bigger. Maybe I'll get like my nose and the chin and stuff. And you're going to go to Edit, Copy, and you want to go to Edit, copy it, and you'll see it probably like you'll see some weird little flash in the corner. I'll put it on some clipboard. And now I'm going back to my first one, and I want to go here and I go paste, okay? And so you can see I've pasted this second one. So start out, and as soon as you do that, go ahead and number it. So this is number 2, so you don't get confused. And then if you take your Move tool here, and you use the opacity up here. So what this is going to do is, when it's 100%, we can't see through it. We know this from our opaque watercolor sets, right? But I've made this partially translucent, okay? And it'll depend on your image. And now if I have my Move tool, see, I can say I took my pictures and they don't all line up exactly. So now I can move it into place so that, and I'm kind of lining it up with the nose and the mouth so that these line up together. Otherwise, they're going to be not lined up, and that'll be a problem for my GIF. I don't have any scale or sizing issues, but if I did, the other thing you can do while you're transparent is go to Edit, Transform, and Scale. Say my second image, it was a little big or a little smaller, right? So I don't know if you guys can see that, but like the nose is getting bigger or smaller. So I can play with the scale. I can also, in here in this Edit, Transform, I can rotate it if it's off a little bit, okay, if you feel like that needs to happen. This little lock up here will lock the proportions. So if I go to make it, if I go back to Edit, Transform, Scale, and I want to make it bigger and smaller, see how I unlocked it there, sorry, and you can see I'm stretching it. But if I don't want the proportions to get distorted, I can click on that and it locks the proportions, and that way I can only make it bigger or smaller and the proportions stay, okay? So if you need to do that, there's that option, and then while it's transparent, what's nice with the opacity turned down, which is the same thing as, sorry, not saying it's transparent, but translucent, right? We can kind of see through it partially. You can move it into place, resize it if necessary. If you do need to do any of these transforming scale or rotating, or if it's, you want to skew it a little, you have to apply these. Okay, so once you start a transformation, you'll see you have this box illuminated. You have to apply it or cancel it. Okay, so I'm going to cancel mine because I didn't need to resize it. Cool, but if you needed to, you would put it in there. And that's how you'll get this lined up. When you like the positioning, then you can go ahead and crank that back up to 100%. Okay, so we're just going to repeat this over and over again. So let's go get the third one. So I'm going to go File, Open. Okay, take number 3, open it up. There's number 3. So see, oh, and here, if I want, I can close number 2. I'm done with that. So I'm just going to have my original one here. And now I'm at number 3, and I'm going to take just the mouth area. Cool. And I'm going to go Edit, Copy. It's going to throw it onto a clipboard. I'm going to go back to my first one that has 1, 2. Now I'm going to go Edit, Paste, and get number 3. Okay? So I'm going to click on, I'm going to rename this so I don't get confused. I highly recommend that because the images will look similar. Okay, so there's number 3. And now I take my Move tool. So the tools I'm using here is Selection to get the piece, and then Move tool over here. Okay, see that? I'm circling it over here. Make sure you have the Move tool. And I want to make sure I'm in the layer. So I'm working with number 3 right now. So right there I've clicked I'm in number 2. I want to be in number 3. Okay. And you can see I can move my piece here. It looks so funny. Okay, so now if I turn down the opacity, and your image, this is just so you can line things up. So see how I had it, now the nose, you can see my nose is over the eye. I want the nose. So it depends on what you're lining up. And this doesn't have to be super perfect. I just want to make sure it's in the right ballpark. So kind of the chin and the mouth and the nose are in the same ballpark. So that looks pretty good, and I don't need to do any resizing, okay? But again, if I needed to, that would be Edit, Transform, Scale, Rotate, any of those things, okay? All right, so I'm just going to keep plugging along here. I can close this one up. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go get open. I'm going to get 4. All right, and I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to stop this video and start the next one so you don't have to keep watching this. So, and the next one I'll have all of them loaded in, okay? So here we go. Copy. Go over to here, go into my 1, 2, 3, edit, paste, right off the bat call that number 4, take my Move tool, okay, and lower the opacity so I can see through it and see if I need to move that into position. Right, I can use my keyboard to move things around. Cool, kind of like it. Put it back up. Good, looking good. Great. Close number 4. I don't need that anymore. I'm going to get the more. Okay, I'm going to stop this video and you can watch the next video and I'll have all 9 in here by then.